corporate coffee really doesn't have a soul. Major farms that don't really put love in the actual bean that you're getting in the first place.
It's mass produced.
Exactly. And I couldn't get a great cup of coffee. Burnt, harsh. We really pride ourselves in using high grade, high quality beans. One of the things that really sets us apart, we air roast our coffee.
For brand new entrepreneurs, what would be your advice?
Do it. You can't win the lotto if you don't buy a ticket. Even if you fail, you will learn so much. 1 year of running a business is like a master's degree from a business school. You have to be an accountant, a brand manager, do so many things. It is not for the faint of heart. You're gonna work 100 hours a week. You're gonna hate everything about it at times.
If it's 100 hours a week and sometimes you absolutely hate it, why keep going?
Because I love it. Even when I hate it. Create something beautiful for myself, my family, the community around me, something that is more than myself.
So far in this journey, what's been your proudest moment?
That's a good question.
Folks, welcome back to another episode of The Locals. My name is Ryan Glatzhofer, and I'm going around the Chicagoland area spotlighting courageous entrepreneurs. And folks, this video is for you if one, you're interested in learning about business through the lens of great entrepreneurs, and two, if you're coffee lovers. And folks, it would mean the world to me if you could take 2 seconds of your time to hit that subscribe button below. It allows us to know that we're creating impactful content that hopefully you'll learn something from. It also showcases that we can build a community through this platform. So without further ado, I'm gonna let this business owner spill the beans about his company, Gigawatt Coffee Roasters. Please join me in welcoming Eli. Eli.
How you doing?
The unique name of your company, Gigawatt Coffee Roasters, owned both by you and your wife, Jen. How'd you think of the name?
One of the hardest things about starting our business was a good name that wasn't taken. We spent about 2 months just batting names back and forth. I mean, a dozen names a day.
What were some of the rejects?
Workbench Coffee Roasters, Ridgewood Coffee Roasters, and some really great ones. And then you hop online and go, oh, it's taken. Sometimes if you checked a name that you liked, the algorithms in Google would then purchase that website.
Seriously?
Seriously. The name Gigawatt, it was kind of a fluke. We're talking about what our power bill would be if we fired up these electric roasters. And I said, you know, if this thing hits, we're gonna chew through some gigawatts. We kind of laughed, the light bulb went on.
How did this come to be?
I was a private investigator for 20 years. I traveled all over the country and I'd find coffee that was burnt, harsh, geared towards people who throw cream and sugar, douse the actual flavor of the coffee to make it tolerable. So I started roasting my own and bringing a little French press with me because hotel coffee is horrible. I was thinking about starting my own private investigation agency, actually. My wife asked me, 2 years from now, will you be happy? I told her, no, I'll be miserable, but we'll have more money. She asked me, what do you want to do? Roast coffee. She looked at me like I was crazy. 6 months later, we launched. We've taken several trips to Puerto Rico. We had the opportunity to visit a lovely coffee farm up in the hills of Ajuntas. I met a gentleman who grew these amazing, beautiful, natural processed beans with the cherry dried on it. It had flavors that I'd never really gotten from coffee before. Next to him, he showed me these kind of sad looking, gnarled beans, and he goes, that's what we sell to corporate coffee.
From a corporate coffee standpoint to what you're doing now, what were the differences and what were things that you wanted to do yourself in perhaps a better way?
Corporate coffee really doesn't have a soul. I realize that there is a difference. Not every bean is created equal. Major farms that don't really put love in the actual bean that you're getting in the first place.
It's mass produced.
Exactly. They got a great business plan. What differentiates specialty coffee and makes it unique is using high grade, high quality beans that, you know, in my mind, good input makes for good output, and you taste the difference when you drink our coffee. I never thought that 20 years on that I would actually start a roastery myself, but life is full of surprises.
You taste the difference with your coffee by the process in which you make it.
Well, one of the things that really sets us apart, we air roast our coffee. Most coffee is roasted in a drum. It's flames under a spinning metal tube, which is contact heat. So the outside of the bean chars a little bit on contact, and that's what gives you that really strong roast profile.
Like the sour taste or bitter?
The bitter burnt tone, so to speak. Now, ours is forced hot air through a chamber, much like a big popcorn machine. As the bean roasts, it has something called chaff. That's the skin of the bean. And it separates. The bean barely actually comes in contact with any metal surface. It's just the air that's lofting it up. In turn, it makes for a much smoother flavor and also less acidity, and you really get more nuance from the bean itself.
Where do you source your beans from?
I have some great relationships both with direct importers, the family farms connection, bringing the coffee here stateside, larger importers who have a wide selection of high quality coffees.
When you were just starting out and trying to find sources for coffee beans and such, did you have other people in the industry where you're like, hey, where do you find yours from, and how could I maybe get off the ground running with this?
There was another local roaster that took me under their wing a little bit. I knew next to nothing about purchasing green coffee, the industry as a whole, and I had a few people to give me some great pointers along the way. And also, launching during COVID taught me a lot about supply chain issues.
How did you create a problem solve to get through the pandemic?
We were looking for a cafe, we were looking for a storefront. All of a sudden, all of our appointments got canceled. What do? We just bought this roaster. Well, let's put it in a spare bedroom. How can we sell our coffee? We were planning to sell it through a cafe, sell it maybe to small offices that wanted quality coffee for their employees. Offices were closed. Nobody's going to cafes. What do? Farmers markets are open. We thought we'd do one or two. It's quaint, it's cute. So by the end of the first year, we were doing 7 farmers markets a week. We've really found that doing mobile coffee and not having that traditional bricks and mortar has been a blessing. It allows us really to focus on the beans instead of trying to create this cafe or this vibe. For the first year at farmers markets, we could not actually serve our coffee to anybody because apparently it was going to kill you if you took a sip of it. It forced us to make learning processes on how to talk about our coffee and how to explain our roasting process, how to explain the taste notes on our coffee, what it is, without anybody actually being able to taste it.
How can I illustrate this in the best visually descriptive way possible to get people to understand the gist of it?
I have to thank my business partner. My wife does our graphic design, does our website, does our social media, and has a full-time job and raises a 1.5-year-old.
Not too shabby.
No, she's a beast. As she was designing the bag, she said, we got to put our taste notes prominent. It makes our coffee very identifiable. It gave us a different way to approach our customer and interact through the product itself. Open up that discussion. Oh, tastes like dark chocolate? Well, yes, it does. But it isn't flavored.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, but it has flavor. Taste notes on the bag, subtle hints like a bottle of wine, so it ain't flavored. But it's coffee with some flavor. Do you like light, medium, dark? Where's your palate sit?
In order for you to sell and to make a great presence, you have to have an outstanding website, especially if you're mobile. When looking at typical online sites, right? Say you're going on Amazon to purchase something. You have like clean white backgrounds to make it look visually cohesive. But for you guys, you have bright colors, you have clouds, like in a lot of the different images, probably because your customers are on cloud 9 after a taste. What was the decision-making process behind that design choice?
We realized that part of what we do is vibrancy. It is energy, henceforth the name Gigawatt. And we wanted a website that represented that and also kind of paid a little homage to the air roasting. That's kind of where those clouds came from. There's a lot of psychology that goes into it to get people to want to pick it up and look at it and work with it.
One of your main missions is to have freshly ground coffee available. Was it not before?
Anybody listening to this and watching this, next time you're at the grocery store, pick up a bag. Most coffees don't even have a roast by date. They have a best by date. Coffee sits at the warehouse for months before it makes it to a shelf, and then it sits on a shelf for another couple months before you pick it up and take it home. At that point in time, it's lost all its pizzazz. People don't even know they're drinking basically stale coffee. You wonder why you need to douse it with cream and sugar. We don't sell coffee that's more than a week old.
You have a very strong local presence. Talk to me about how people can get your coffee.
We've developed roots in the different communities that we serve and sell our coffee at. That's part of really what helped us grow.
So we have all these products on the table. I'd love for you to show me a few.
At any given time, we have about a dozen different coffees in our lineup. We have everything from a water processed decaf, which tastes smoother, fresher, actually like a real bean, because it isn't treated with methyl chloride, which really is just a horrible chemical as a whole.
Doesn't sound good.
No, exactly. And this uses solely water to extract the caffeine, which makes for a smoother, better tasting cup. We have great single origin coffees from all over the world. A lot of coffees are actually blends. Something like my Livewire espresso, it's a blend from a little bit everywhere, mostly South American coffees, Central America. Our flagship is Kite and Key. This is a combination of Brazil, Colombian, Guatemalan. I kind of describe it as our take on a quality cup of diner coffee. It's approachable for almost any coffee drinker. It's got that classic chocolatey, nutty taste that you want from a cup. Shines through the cream and sugar, but smooth enough to drink black. Our breakfast blend, Luminosity. It's a combination of Mexican Chiapas and Costa Rican. So the Mexican Chiapas gives it kind of nice milk chocolatey, smooth tone. And then the Costa Rican gives a little pizzazz on the back end, because who doesn't like pizzazz in their coffee? Right, you know. This is one of our limited release series coffees, a barrel-aged Nicaraguan coffee that we've been aging in a rum barrel from Midwest distilleries. And then my personal favorite coffee is our Honduran Organic. I love light roast shots of espresso. It's a natural processed coffee, so it's got a little sweetness from the cherry of the coffee being dried on the bean. Those naturally occurring sugars infuse the seed. And this one is remarkable in a sense that blueberry undertone turns into something truly gorgeous when you pull a shot of espresso.
Are there actually tariffs or any taxes on coffee beans? Is that impacting your prices and how you operate?
I haven't seen a lot of pain from the tariff side. However, speculation in the coffee market as a commodity has doubled the price of green coffee over the past year. So you saw an uptick even prior to the election, and then post-election with economic uncertainty based on poor harvest in Brazil, coffee roasters might have been putting off purchasing or weren't properly hedged in the market.
Because obviously if there is a tariff or a tax on anything, it has to be offset so that you can stay afloat.
Our ethos as a company, approachable, affordable, quality coffee. Many of them have causes that they donate to or things like that. My cause is my customer. The difference with us, we've worked very hard over the years to maintain low pricing structures and deliver a quality, affordable cup to people. The whole reason I started this company, I got sick of paying too much for good coffee. You know, and I'm like, all right, how can I do this better, cheaper? And so we keep our overhead low.
Problems arise and you have to pivot and navigate. And how have you navigated that with your support system and with your business acumen?
I'm very fortunate to have the world's best business partner. My friend said to me, your wife is great. I'm like, yeah, marrying her was one of the best decisions I ever made. And he goes, should be the best decision you ever made. I go, no, making her my business partner was. Huh? We know each other well. We're able to make decisions quickly. We're able to pivot. So many different challenges are thrown at you. Part of being a business owner, it's like balancing spinning teacups. Some are gonna fall and keep on spinning the rest with a smile on your face. If you keep on trucking ahead, you will succeed.
Did you ever envision or even want to start your own business?
I did a lot of music back in the day. One of my guys who we used to make beats together and I'd be rapping. We said, what would be cool if we roasted coffee? I bet you people would smell it and they'd really like it. I never knew, 20 years later that that's what I'd be doing. We have that get it done spirit. Being a business owner, that privilege to not only create something beautiful for myself, my family, the community around me, but also jobs for people, something that is more than myself. It is really just a beautiful thing.
That's really genuine. I love that. For brand new entrepreneurs, what would be your advice?
Do it. You can't win the lotto if you don't buy a ticket. Even if you fail, you will learn so much. Even 1 year of running a business is like a master's degree from a business school. You have to be an accountant, a brand manager, do so many things. It is not for the faint of heart. You're gonna work 100 hours a week. You're gonna hate everything about it at times and love everything about it at other times. That's part of the journey. But unless you take that leap of faith in yourself, you won't ever know whether you could have or not.
If it's 100 hours a week and sometimes you absolutely hate it, why keep going?
Because I love it. Even when I hate it. I've spent a lot of time doing a lot of things that I didn't want to do.
Being that business is not for the faint of heart, how did you fund it? You have to figure out how to make the product and find the funds to get it to the people.
I started off with literally just enough money to buy a roaster. Everything you see in my warehouse has been purchased with money that we've made from the business. You know, a lot of it was me basically working for free for a while we got it off the ground. We self-funded, and through hard work and bootstrapping, we made this happen. Our whole first year, I was on a 3-pound coffee roaster. The guy at Sputnik actually gave me a really good piece of advice, and I wish I had listened. Buy a bigger roaster than you think you need, or you'll hate your life. I bought a 3-pound roaster instead. The first 9 months were very hard to make coffee.
So far in this journey, what's been your proudest moment?
That's a good question. It's not any one moment because we haven't reached the mountaintop, but it's all those little victories that really make it worth it as a small business owner. Getting this warehouse was a huge step for us. We're doubling the size of our business. And that made me say, I think we're on the right track. It's a lot of little moments, you know, and I get to do it with the person I love. And that's part of the fun.
That's so wholesome, and I love that. I've learned a ton today. How attentive to detail you are, the kind of craftsmanship that you approach your products with is really commendable. So congratulations on your successes, and thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it as well. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And folks, that does it for another episode of The Locals. If you're interested in more content about entrepreneurs, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you next time.